Ramon Scott. Rundown of every pro game for today. We got the NBA, NHL already covered. If you missed those segments, just watch the replay of the show because you're ready for 15 games from Major League Baseball. No day action, so we're all ready for 15 games in the prime time. So let's get underway here with our rundown segment from Major League Baseball. Ramon, here we go. Top lineup here, we got Mets and the Tigers. Lucchesi, the former Padre back in the day, boy, he looks nice and fit and lean. You kind of like the look of the pitcher like that, and has produced some pretty good numbers for the year, facing Lorenzen, a well-traveled pitcher from Cincinnati to the Angels, now in the Tigers. Mets favorite here, total of 9.
Yeah, Tony, I was going to make Tony give out a pick each game, but he already does. He already has his videos, so check those out as well. I'm here to give you the picks from my perspective. Yeah, Lucchese's definitely looking decent so far. 2.19 ERA so far, Tony. That's what the Padres were expecting, but they dealt him up, and he's had the TJ surgery, and here he is back looking good. That's kind of, in a way, the Padres have had a strategy of kind of, you're not supposed to, always use the TJ surgery, but, they've been quick to send guys off that have complained about the pain and just get it done. Usually come back a little bit stronger. Maybe this is a good move for Lucchesi and the Mets, who need starting pitching right now. Look, they got to do, with these bats, you can't lose ground right now. They're doing a great job, actually, to be 15-12 at this point. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games. Hopefully that pitching isn't going to start to bite them a little bit here because of the injuries that have mounted and what they've had to do to shuffle their pitching along. So Lorenzen, a 7 ERA thus far so far. Detroit has gone over in 3 of their last 4 games. Mets, I think Lucchesi's in a good, good spot, but I still am going to end up on the over in this game. Just the Mets, the bats look too good here against Lorenzen. I just think that they'll be able to pound today. I'm going to be on the Mets here probably, but we'll go over in this one. We'll go over that total of 9 now. Woo! All right, I'll do it. Give me the over.
Total of 9 there from Ramon. Remember, this is the sharpest book in the world. Do your line chopping if you want to look for the best numbers. Obviously, that's what you want to do is line shop. 9 is pretty much now the number everywhere. So there you go from Ramon Scott. Let's continue on here on our rundown now, Major League Baseball. Let's get to the next game. We got Braves and Marlins going head-to-head here with the Marlins favored. Yes, they are favored against the Braves team that has had a really good home record this year. Total 7.5. Of course, Sandy Alcantara trying to get his act together here with an ERA over 5. Bryce Elder on the hill for Atlanta.
Yeah, as I said before, no panic with Sandy, I'm sure. He started to get it back together a little bit. I'm not worried at this point. I'm worried about the Marlins being 1-4 in his starts because they can't give any run support. So if you don't get Sandy at his finest, you're going to be in for a little bit of trouble there. One thing I do like about the Marlins, Tony, is their clutch play. They're 10-0 in one-run games, so that's amazing so far. With 16-13 record, they're doing awesome. But Atlanta still now already 19-10. Bryce Elder looks like another looking good so far with that 2.48 earned run average so far. Braves 12-3 on the road. You mentioned Marlins, at home pretty good, 10-6. But I think with Elder looking so good, I mentioned that ERA. He's been okay against Miami. He's had 5 starts against him, 3.5 ERA in his career. We know Sandy does pretty well against Atlanta, 2.48 career ERA and a 4-2 record. So I'm going to end up going under in this one, Tony, with Elder looking good against, certainly a weak lineup of the Marlins. At 7.5, I'll still go under with Bryce Elder and Sandy Alcantara.
All right, then we're getting some plays here from some of the chat community. We appreciate everyone's comments here. Rowan, you said under, right? Under in this one, under 7.5 here.
Yeah.
The Braves and the Marlins. All right, let's continue on here. On our rundown, joined by Ramon Scott. On Tuesdays, we do a rundown of complete pro cards here for you from Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL. We've already covered NBA and NHL, so you go after our MLB segment, just reverse back to the beginning of the show and check it out. Let's continue on here. Next game up. Pirates and the Rays. Now we got odds. No, I guess we can put we got pitchers. I think it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed, and we knew Ronzi Contreras was going to go. I always list the primary pitcher, and that just looks like the lefty Josh Fleming here should get the bulk of the innings here for Tampa Bay. Rays favored -158, total 8.5.
Yeah, I don't know. Worst kept secret all night, Tony. I mean, everybody, I'm sure, had Contreras. I mean, I wrote it down well early that he looked like the starter, so I don't know if what the deal was with getting the announcement out there. It was definitely the Pirates that were holding things up as far as the books. I mean, this is really, you see, even books will sometimes a guesstimate or put something up there. All the books held out until the last maybe 2 hours ago before finally getting the confirmation with Ronzi Contreras, who's done a great job, obviously, with a 1.45 ERA in his last 3 starts. Pirates are 4-1 so far. I mean, there's a World Series preview, Tony. Come on. Pittsburgh 20-9, Tampa Bay 23-6. Kidding you, I think. But still, Tampa Bay, yeah, bullpen game. Javi Guerra gets the, start there as an opener. Another former Padre, by the way. Rays dominating at home, still 14-2, but Pittsburgh 11-5 on the road. Contreras has been solid, but I think the bats might end up dictating this one here. Pittsburgh's gone 4-1-1 to the over in their last 6 games. Tampa Bay 3-1 to the over in their last 4. I'm going to end up on the over in this one, Tony, with the hot Bucks and the hot Rays. The game of the night. Let's face it. Go over 8.5 tonight.
A really strong test for the Pirates going into this road game where the Rays have been very good at home. Pirates going up against an elite team here on the road. Let's see how this team does here. They'll continue on. And this one says over total of 8.5 runs in this one. You see the juice there on that one. Let's continue on the next game. We got Cubs and the Nationals going head-to-head in Game 2 of their series. Hayden Wesneski on the hill for Chicago. Trevor Williams will be on the mound here for the Washington Nationals. Cubs favored here, -135, total 8.5.
Wesneski doing a pretty good job, too. This young pitcher, 2.76 ERA in his last 3 starts. Cubs have won 4 of his 5 starts. They've also gone over in 4 of those 5 starts. Chicago, just 4-7 in their last 11. Meanwhile, for Williams, 4.44 ERA in his last 5 starts. Nationals have now lost 4 of 5. I'm going to look for some runs probably to be scored in this one with this Cubs lineup. Mostly, I would think against Williams and the Nationals. I think the Cubs will be in a good spot here on the road. I'm going to look to go over in this one. What do we got here? 8.5 over, -115. Steam came in on the over, but I'm gonna go on the other way here and look for the Cubs to put up some runs today and get this one to go over the total. I'm not sure, I do want to lay the price, I think, with Wesneski, but man, on the road it does feel a little bit uncomfortable now at what, -$1.35. We'll see. Darren's on it. It was great to see a lot of the crew here right now. Great to see Angel, Darren as well. Appreciate that stopping by today to visit us. Blake as well. You mentioned Tony.
That's right, Ramon here over the total here of 8.5 here with this Cubs and Nationals game tonight. Let's continue on here on the rundown with Ramon Scott here. We do this on Tuesdays, no morning steam on Tuesday. Ramon Scott with a complete rundown from all pro games. We covered NBA and NHL already. So after our MLB rundown, go back to the beginning of our broadcast and get those NBA and NHL picks. Let's continue on here. Next up, Guardians and the Yankees tonight. As we've got Garrett Cole. He's been on fire this year. Looks like the leader for the Cy Young against Tanner Bibby, a youngster here for the Guardians. Boy, the Yankees had that one in hand. Domingo Germán, good strikeout rate, pitched well, didn't give up any homers. So that again, Mindy had that handicap great. Guardians are not a home run hitting team. They take them out. You think you should close in the ninth. They couldn't get it done. But anyway, tonight's a new day. Yankees favored -154, total of 7.
Yeah, definitely want to see a little bit more right now from the Yankees in a spot like that. I mean, they have one of the top bullpens certainly in the league, but interested to see here how Bibby does against this Yankee lineup. Now they finally made a move to put Judge on that injured list, so an offense that has definitely been struggling. They're going to have to rely on Garrett Cole here. I mean, he's been awesome. He's Cy Young so far. One ERA. Yankees have won all 6 of his starts. I think Bibby, he's highly touted, so I don't think it was a fluke necessarily to come in there, throw 91 pitches in his first major league start. Did a terrific job. I think he was at everything is advertised for the Guardians in this one. So I'm going to try him on the road here. On the run line, I'll give them a shot here. They've won just 5 of their last 14 games, but they are 10-7 on the road. For some reason, the Yankees, Cole, hey, he's outstanding. They're a stiff favorite here. I get it. At minus $1.55, but they are just 9-8 so far at home. I do expect this one to be a great pitcher's duel. I think Bibby is going to, be a good pitcher for the Guardians moving forward, and gets a break here with this Yankee lineup, if you will. Good hitting still, but still missing the big bats. And I'll take the Guardians on the run line today with Bibby in this one. We'll mention, Tony, both teams have gone under in 13 of their last 17 games. Both teams.
Yep, no Stanton, no Judge in line for the Yankees. Ramon likes Guardians. Take the plus 1.5 runs, minus 149. Do your line shopping, get the best numbers. Let's continue on here on the rundown. Major League Baseball. Next game up, we got Twins and the White Sox going head-to-head tonight with Joe Ryan. Has been looking great this season, but 5-0 on the year. Michael Kopech, a pitcher going in the opposite direction. Twins favor on the road, minus 166 with a total of 9.
Joe Ryan doesn't look like a fluke, does he? He'll be 3.09 ERA in 5 starts. Big time run support, no doubt about it. The Twins are averaging over 8 runs a game in his starts. They've gone over in all of those starts. They've also gone 4-1-1 to the over in the last 6 games. White Sox struggling here, no doubt. Kopech, 6.84 ERA, 0-3 record. White Sox 1-4 in his starts so far. Maybe he can get it back together at home a little bit and have a good outing, but I just like the way Ryan has been pitching. Twins here, stiff favorite on the road. They're going to be a pretty public side here today at $1.65, $1.70. So I'm going to look to go under in this one. Mr. Over there, Blake said in the chat, but this one I'm going to look to go under because I think I'm really impressed with what Ryan's done so far. I'm going to, not throw out his run support. Definitely got a Minnesota team that certainly can hit. White Sox, not so much. I'm going to take the under in this one. Kopech's had some okay starts. I don't know if he's broken right now this season, but 3.74 ERA in 4 starts against Minnesota in his career. So maybe he can hold up his end. I'll go under in this one, especially now that it's at 9.
All right, Ramon says go under here. Twins and White Sox forecast chilly night, 51 degrees, but wind blowing out 18 miles per hour. We'll see if that holds, Ramon. All right, continue on here. Next game up here, we've got the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. This is a national televised game over on TBS for tonight. We've got on the hill tonight here Kikuchi, the lefty for Toronto, Tanner Houck, the right-hander for Boston. Blue Jays favored minus 126 with a total of 9.5.
Kikuchi says not so fast. Don't be handing out that Cy Young award yet to Garrett Cole. One ERA so far. One ERA in his last 3 starts. Blue Jays have won all 5 of his starts so far, and they come in Toronto having won 7 of their last 10 games. I think Houck is a better pitcher than his ERA might suggest. He's got a 5 ERA in his last 3 starts, but the Red Sox have won 4 of his 5 starts, and now the Red Sox are starting to pick up steam a little bit here, having won 11 of their last 17 games. They might be okay to get to Kikuchi a little bit here. I'm going to look for this game to go under. I think Houck is maybe a little bit better than his numbers might indicate here. He also has had 3 starts against the Blue Jays, a 2.63 ERA. Kikuchi does have a 4 ERA in 3 starts against Boston, but I think his numbers this season indicate he's definitely in a pretty good spot. We'll mention Toronto 12-3-3 to the under in their last 18 games. I'm going to go under in this one, Tony, with Toronto and Boston tonight at 9.5.
All right, Ramon says go under 9.5 here with the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Let's continue on here on our rundown. Next up, we've got for you here the Orioles and the Royals are going head to head here with Tyler Wells on the hill. Looks like Ryan Yarbrough, the former Ray on the hill, having kind of a rough year this year.
Yeah, 0-3 so far for Yarborough. He just has the one start. I mean, he's, long time. He went kind of from opener to, and stretched out a little bit. Uh, he'll throw the most innings. I don't know. They actually could come in with a different opener. I'm not sure, but he'll throw the most innings today for sure for Kansas City in this one. Uh, Look, for Kansas City right now, it's tough. I mean, 7-22 record. You're going against a Baltimore team that I don't know if they've been. Yeah, I'll call them a surprise. I mean, they've won now 18 of their last 25 to improve to 19-9 after that subpar start. Let's just call it for what it's worth. But Wells in his last three starts, 2.5 ERA. Orioles have won three of those four games. Look for him to have a pretty good start here against this Kansas City lineup right now. That have Kansas City's lost 16 of their last 20 games, just 1-12 at home. Tony, wow! I'm going to end up going under in this one with Wells and Yarborough, even at 8.5, juice to the over there at minus $1.20 or so. I'll go under in this one.
All right, everyone, under 8.5, Orioles and the Royals continue on here on the rundown. Next up, Angels and the Cardinals in interleague play. Patrick Sandoval putting up some good numbers this year against Steven Matz, the starter here for St. Louis. St. Louis here favored minus 148 with a total of 8.5.
Yeah, Sandoval's been okay, but then all of a sudden now, last three starts, an ERA over 6. So maybe he's starting to give some back here a little bit. We know the Cardinals have not won with him yet. He's got a 6 ERA in his 5 starts so far. But Cardinals, man, they've lost 10 of their last 13 games. Angels have won 5 of 8, but I have to look at that line. I mean, look at the movement on the Cardinals here. I'm just going to trust the Sharps, I think, in this one. And maybe I'll trust my man, Charles Sharp. Nice to have Charles in the chat as well as Reno. Nice to have you guys. Anyways, Tony, in this one, I'm going to take this move very, very seriously, and I'm going to end up on the Cardinals here, even though Matz has been leaving something to be desired, certainly with his 6.23 ERA thus far, but not liking what I'm seeing from Sandoval all of a sudden here. St. Louis, they're in a bad way right now, barely playing, 35% ball right now. Angels still tick over 500, but I'm going to come in with the Cardinals tonight, laying $1.50. I actually liked it very, very much at that send out, even at that opener. It's gotten a little too stiff for me here. Reno and we're going to be on the Cardinals today. Can't do it as a premium of $1.50, but I do think the Cardinals, the line maybe tells the story. I don't know if I could sell anybody on that, but pretty big move here for a team that's 10-19 to $1.50. Tony, take the Cards.
Roan here on the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals have their struggles against right-handed starters this season. Sandoval, the lefty. Let's continue on here on Game Day Picks. The rundown of Ramon Scott. A pick from every pro game today. We covered NBA and NHL earlier on, so if you want those picks, wait to the conclusion of our MLB segment, then reverse the show back to the beginning. You'll get NBA and NHL. Let's continue on here on the rundown, Major League Baseball style. Diamondbacks and the Rangers. You see that big line on the Diamondbacks. You know who's pitching tonight. Gallen here on the hill for Arizona. Gray, the starter for Texas. Arizona minus 148. Total sits at 8.
Yeah, is Zach Gallen our NL Cy Young this point after 1 month? I would think so. No ERA in his last 4 starts in 27 innings pitched. Arizona's 5-1 in his starts this season. So, yeah, Zach Gallen's been really strong so far. I got to think he's going to have a pretty good outing here again today. But for John Gray, I think we're getting what we always expect. Maybe expect a little bit more. Maybe he's getting a little bit uh, older, certainly, but he's found another home in Texas to uh, toil here. But man, a 5.6 ERA and 18 career starts against Arizona. That's not so great. I mean, there's been some turnover there, obviously, but remember he did pitch in Colorado, so those numbers a little bit inflated. But here, Tony, I would think for me, I like it to go under with Gallen right now. I mean, he's just been outstanding. He's gone under in each of his last four starts. Arizona's gone under in 6 of their last 9 games. Texas has gone under in 4 of their last 5. Wasn't too long ago we were talking about all the overs that Texas was in recently. Rangers 11-5 at home, doing a nice job. They are an underdog here, certainly. Arizona a tick over 500 on the road at 8-7. I'm going to look to go under here with Gallen and Gray. Maybe Gallen will bring out the best in John Gray here in this one, and also with the Arizona bats on the road. Let's go under in this one, under the 8.
All right, Ramon says go under the 8 runs here, Diamondbacks and the Rangers. Let's continue on here with the Major League Baseball rundown. Next game up here, we have the Giants and the Astros. Anthony DeSclafani on the hill for San Francisco. Hunter Brown, he's put together a pretty good year for this young rookie, looking very impressive on the mound and even going deep in games. Astros minus 189, total of 8.5.
Yeah, see if the Giants can figure out Hunter Brown. 2.45 ERA in his last 4 starts. Astros have won 4 of his 5 starts. He's 3-0 overall. Astros have won 8 of their last 11 games so far. We'll note that Houston has gone under in 6 of their last 8 games. For DeSclafani, numbers are okay. He's got a 3 ERA in his 5 starts so far, but the Giants have lost 4 straight now, and they're 4-10 on the road. For me, I'm going to lay a run line here. It's just gotten a little bit too out of control. That's at least 25 cents move there on the Astros. I'm going to lay the run line here with Houston tonight against struggling San Francisco. I say it that way. Right now, like I said, 4-10 on the road so far this season. I'm going to lay the run line. We talked about that Houston bullpen, Tony, that it wasn't where we expected it. Well, all of a sudden, they're 3rd in ERA. Here they come.
Yeah, here they come. Ramon here, Astros run line. We'll lay the 1.5 runs here, and you get the plus back here, plus 111. Let's continue here on the rundown. Next up, Brewers and the Rockies in this game. Brewers big favorites here of minus 158. Take back in the Rockies plus 145. Big total here of 11. Freddie Peralta on the hill for Milwaukee here. We got Ryan Feltner on the hill for Colorado. Rain expected, 37% chance of rain, 66 degrees the weather there.
Yes, we'll see how that affects things in Colorado today. Interestingly, Colorado's been kind of an under team so far. Now, at home, they are 1 game over. Has over 500. If you're over 1 game more to the, I think 4-3. They haven't played that many home games thus far. I think they've played 13 home games. So I want to say they're 7-6 to the over, but they have gone under in 7 of their last 10. So still ticking to the over because they are at home. But Feltner has been decent. 0.77 ERA in his last 2 starts. He won them both. Rockies are 3-2 in his starts. For Peralta, 3.77 ERA in 5 starts so far. Brewers have gone 1-4-1 to the under in their last 6 games. Colorado, as I mentioned, they are still ticking under. 7 of their last 10 games have gone under. That's the way I'll look in this one. Has moved down. The steam came in on the under. I'll be on the under 11 runs here with Milwaukee and Colorado with those dreary conditions today.
All right, Ramon says under the total 11 here, Milwaukee and Colorado. Let's continue here on the rundown with Ron Scott, Major League Baseball, Mariners and Athletics. Go head-to-head here. Athletics here, minus 130 here. The take back on the Athletics, plus 120, total of 8. It's Miller versus Miller. It's Miller time.
It's Miller time. Miller time. That's about the only thing you can do in an Oakland game. Probably have a few beers and just kind of like reminds me of the old days at the old San Diego Stadium where there'd be just a few hundred people in the seats. You can resurrect a baseball program. I mean, we've proven it here in San Diego with the ballpark and all that. Yeah, that park's now, 20 years old, but you can do it, Oakland. We see lots of finger pointing, Tony, where it stands, where the move stands for Oakland. One thing's for sure, Oakland right now isn't going anywhere in the standings. Bryce Miller making his much anticipated major league debut for Seattle. Yeah, the numbers weren't that great so far this season, but right now he's expected to be a major leaguer. He's here a little bit early. Hasn't been that solid this year, but last year pretty good in his starts in Double A. So, pardon me. So expecting big things from Bryce Miller. He looks like he's expected to be here. He's want to say number 2 in the Seattle organization overall prospects, number 88 overall in the major leagues. So a guy who we are expecting to be a guy who's going to last a little bit in this league. Certainly, don't look at his 6.86 ERA in his 4 start. You can look at those, but what they're talking about is the stuff, right? What he can do. So if he's here a little bit early, at least he's up against Oakland today in this one for Mason Miller, 6.48 ERA in his first 2 starts. A's lost them both. A's have gone over in 19 of their 29 games thus far. That's the way I'm going to look in this one with a major leaguer in his first start, and Mason Miller hasn't been too good in this one. We know Oakland just awful, right? 3-12 at home thus far. No, that's comparable to their road record. Let's go over in this one, Tony. Over the 8 with Miller and Miller.
Miller and Miller. Ron says go over 8 with Seattle and Oakland. All right, next up here, we got the Reds and the Padres. Looks like Graham Ashcraft is off to a pretty good start this year. It's Michael Wacha, a little bit of crooked numbers here for San Diego. Padres big favorites here at minus 191. The total here sits at 8.5. Looks like the weather about 58 degrees over in San Diego.
Yeah, just a calm day here as the Padres and the Reds. We saw Fernando Tatis Jr. I guess they have short memories in San Diego, Tony. I said that when the suspension came down right here on the show last year that the fans would boo Fernando Tatis Jr., and that was far from the case last night. Maybe because, they got to see him on the road a little bit. They got to see him in Mexico series. He looked pretty good. And maybe you just, boom, forget that, right? You forget all about what he did. I don't forget. I'm still going to, support him because I think he just made a dumb mistake. I don't, he needs better guidance and all that, but they were loudly cheering him. There were hardly a boo to be heard with Tatis Jr. at home. Maybe, that's your home guy, but here's a franchise that also turned their back or turned their nose, if you will, away from Ken Caminiti and all of his issues some 25 years ago. So maybe they don't care. We're desperate in San Diego, so we'll do whatever we can, I guess is what it is. Ashcraft, 2.10 ERA so far in 5 starts. He's been pretty darn good. 2-0. Reds have won 3 of his 5 starts. Reds just 3-5 on the road thus far. They have gone under in 5 of 8 road games. For Wacha, you mentioned it, crooked number. I guess more like a picket fence if you look at his last 3 starts, 0-1 with a 10.1 ERA, but those are bad numbers. But I told you what I think I expect from Wacha is innings. Padres are 4-1 in his starts, so just get through the game no matter how it is. If you can get some run support, maybe you can pitch with a little bit of a cushion. Wacha, we know he's a durable arm, so maybe that's what the Padres need in this spot. Padres are just 8-8 at home. I told everyone so far I want to support them on the road a little bit and maybe not back them so much at home right now. But for me in this one, Tony, especially at 8.5, I am going to go under in this one and figure Wacha against a Reds lineup, it can at least have a better start. And I'm going to go under 8.5 runs here with the Reds and the Padres today.
All right, Ramon says go under 8.5 runs here with the Padres and the Reds here. I'd like to shout out to everybody here in the chat room with your contributions.
Yeah.
They like this format here. I do too. We'll continue here on our rundown. Next game here on the board. Last game on this 15-game card here on the Major League Baseball rundown with Ramon Scott here on Tuesdays. Remember, no morning steam on Tuesdays. Ramon gives a pick on every pro game for you here on the show on Game Day Picks. If you're looking for NBA and NHL, we covered that earlier in the show. After our segment here, just rewind the video back to the beginning for those picks. Phillies and Dodgers, ESPN Plus here features two lefties. Strom on the hill for Philadelphia, Urias on the hill for the Dodgers. We have Dodgers here minus 145. Total sits at 8.
Yeah, well, Mindy said, I get through the picks so fast. I said, well, yeah, Mindy, I have to talk to all my friends in the chat on our show. Philadelphia and the Dodgers, Tony Strom, another Padre. How about this? Strom doing a nice job with the Phillies so far, a 3 ERA in his last 4 starts. He's 3-2 in his. The Phillies are 3-2 in his 5 starts. He's 2-2 overall. Has had a couple of starts, but 20 innings pitched against the Dodgers in his career, allowing just 3 earned runs. Phillies starting to find it a little bit, Tony. 10-5 in their last 15 games to even their mark now at 500. Dodgers, Julio Urias, want to see more right now. A little bit worried with that 8.5 ERA and 0-3 record. Dodgers have won the other 3 games where he didn't get a decision, so bullpen's come in and done a nice job. Big time discount here on the Dodgers. It looks like, Tony, down to $1.45. The send out was as high as $1.85, but maybe because of Urias's numbers, maybe the public's a little bit worried as well. They look at Strom's numbers; they're pretty decent so far. Still, Tony, Dodgers 8-3 in their last 11 games, 10-6 at home. I'm sure they're coming around into form. I'm not that worried about them. In fact, it looks like I said, a discount, big time discount. If you like the Dodgers, interested in some of these favorites, I think, looking at the move, maybe the Phillies are the public side. I don't think it's incredibly sharp action. If anything, the steam has appeared to come in on the under here in this one, and that's where I'm going to go in this one. Phillies have gone under in 10 of their last 13 games. Dodgers are producing overs, but I'm expecting Urias. I don't think he's broken. I just think he's off to a poor start. Maybe tonight he can get back on the beam a little bit. See Phillies getting that lineup healthy and starting to put something together. Had a good series in Houston. I think this pretty good series right here. All of a sudden, I'm going to take the under tonight.
Ron says,
despite all the runs last night, right, Tony?
Yeah, well, it is a situation where the Dodgers, I think that people have kind of caught on, is the Dodgers are just terrible against left-handed pitching. Just hitting 173 against lefties. I think one of the bigger drivers is not only Urias' form, but the fact that the Dodgers just don't hit left-handers very well. It's kind of very poor for them against lefties. Remember, totally different lineup than last year. You used to be able to have the starters behind starters, right? That was the Dodgers' key there to the regular season successes. They were able to really, if they're weak in one area, okay, we can't hit lefties. Let's put up guys that can, right? And that's really the situation. That's a big problem.
Look, I know it's kind of a crude handicap. I mean, but you got to start somewhere, and I've said it before. When I just look at the pitching matchups and I see 2 left-handers, I start with under and I try to work from there. And if I go over, that's after the handicap is done. But when I see 2 left-handed starters, I immediately think, well, let me look at the numbers and how we can go under in this game.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm doing here.
Yeah, the positives here with Urias is about a 26% strikeout. The walks are unlimited, but again, it's the hard contact and the velocity down a little bit. But that's correctable just with more work there. Ramon here, under 8 here with that Phillies and Dodgers. That concludes here our MLB rundown. Ramon here as we're able to. Yeah, we got through all the games. All the games are right. Everything is through all 15 games. We got you 2 games from the NHL, 2 games from the NBA. So if you missed the NBA and NHL, you guys just go back to the beginning of the show and get those NBA and NHL video picks. But Ramon, let's take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com right now. Of course, we put up this great record for Ramon, 6,652 units of profit. That is all documented over at Tony's Picks. Top unit producer, no doubt. Based on 100 units of wagers, 15 on the board MLB, 2 NHL, 2 NBA. What do you have going over at the site?
Yeah, I'm flirting with that seven dimes number, Tony. We got over it quite a bit. Now we're chasing it a little bit again, but I don't know. You saw it last. I don't know. Must have been what, Tony, 7 or 10 days ago. I said the same thing when I was basically stuck down there at 55, and I'm like, I got to get back to six. So let's get rolling tonight with a 7 pack of games that I'm offering for just $30 over at Tony'sPicks.com. That Tuesday night all access premium pass, and I've specially priced it. I thought about this, you know. Yeah, Tony doesn't pay me by the word, even though I've been with him here for 50 minutes today. I work on commissions, you guys, so please consider this all access premium pass for $30 right there. I've packaged 7 games up. I rarely do that. I usually do a 3 pack or a 5 pack. My regular subscribers know how I do it, but because of this appearance on this show, said I'm going to come in with all my games. 7 plays right there for Tuesday night for $30 over at Tony'sPicks.com. And it's not even that much. You can use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all of our premium pick packages, including my 7 pack right there. May come up with a little bit something maybe for late night action, Tony. I really just had games through the early evening. I wasn't sure on the late night. We talked about some of the matchups here, so might just roll with this 7 pack tonight. See if we can get another big night here at Tony'sPicks.com. 5 in Major League Baseball, 1 in the NBA, and 1 in the NHL currently. Usually a little bit heavier in those playoff sports, but like I said, Mindy and I are involved in a couple of games as well, and I do want to promote that package as well. So Mindy and I, we do have our morning steam show every 6 days a week, Wednesdays through Mondays, but we've gotten together and put together a package for our Tuesday subscribers, and you can get that package, those packages of plays over at Tony'sPicks.com, or subscribe to our morning Steam pack to get those Tuesday plays. Mindy doesn't take the full day off, Tony. She's got selections and everything, but we just let her get a little rest. And you see also, don't forget my all sports pass there, 7-day, 3-day, 30-day, or yearly. And I also have broken it down a little bit into the sports, into these playoffs, made them a little bit cheaper, and maybe I'll even reduce the price now that we're in the conference semifinals in there, in case you just want to get a particular sport like the hockey, which has been so incredibly solid for me this season as well. So head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and use that promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20%. If you're doing fine, if you're watching our show, you're making winning picks, you join our Discord. We see your tickets in there. If you're doing fine, no problem. If not, swallow your pride. Come join me a little bit. Just subscribe to a package. Let me show you what the hype is about. Tony isn't fabricating these numbers. I enter in these picks into the back end of Tony'sPicks.com, just like it would at an online sports book. I put the play in. I also give you a 4-paragraph write-up of each game, and then the plays are graded, and that's how it's come out with this great run so far since January 1st, 4 months in, 6,500 units of profit based on 100-unit plays. That's basically what lay the juice on a favorite to win 100, lay 100 to win plus X on the dog, and that's the way we grade it here at Tony's Picks. So basically 65 units over the last 4 months at Tony'sPicks.com. So if you're just having any struggles at all, please just consider the package. It's profit guaranteed. You'll always leave our website with a winning experience here, even if it takes a day. If for some reason we don't profit on that first package, which we quite often do. Like I said, I'm graded on commission. I get a big fat 0, Tony, if I don't win on these packages. And I can tell you that a lot of times I kind of grade it as like a winning streak on my packages when they all cash there. That's how we do it at Tony'sPicks.com. So the pressure's on me to produce the winners, and that's why I work so hard on trying to get these winners up there in a timely fashion, but also make sure there are solid picks. So not just throwing darts here, Tony, like I promised that I will be doing on Friday when I give you my Kentucky Derby picks. I will be throwing darts, and not to say I'm just throwing my hands up, Tony, but that's the way to handicap the Kentucky Derby.
That's right. Big payouts there, no doubt, guys. Get everyone got over at Tony's Picks. That 7-pack on the board right now. Formally priced $30. Get on board with it. And of course, use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off. Also, Ramon mentioned those long-term passes, 3, 7, or 30-day all sports pass. It's within your budget. There's also 1-year all sports pass. Ramon has really proven himself over what we are here, 16 plus months here on the site, where he's been producing great results. So get on board with Ramon Scott over at Tony's Picks. Whatever, that 1 month pass gets the remainder here. I'll get you all 1 month here of NBA plays, NHL plays, as well as picks for Major League Baseball, peripheral sports. Like he'll delve into tennis, he'll delve into UFC. There's always a UFC card. Whenever there's a UFC card, there's always UFC picks from Ramon. So if UFC's on there, you'll get those picks from Ramon. Sometimes he delves into Bellator as well. So we'll keep an eye there. Of course, maybe some soccer, European soccer, MLS. That's also part of the 1 month pass. If there's occasional plays there, those will also be included, as well as the late steam plays. We allow our cappers to post plays late in our system. Always log in at 11 a.m. Eastern time for the members' plays, but we also allow our cappers to post plays late. If any pick they put in between 10 minutes and 2 hours before game time is emailed directly into your email box. That's part of these long-term passes that you see there in yellow. Not the ones in the orange, because they're already fixed. You get 3 days, you get 3 picks, you get 3 picks, you get 5 picks, you get 5 picks. But the ones in yellow are the long-term passes. Include your members' picks. You log in by 11 a.m. Eastern time for, and then the late steam that are sent directly to your inbox. We allow our cappers to post plays late because we have the technology, we have the programmers, we have the know-how to get this done, and we know you guys like those late plays, and our cappers like to give them out because I don't like hearing, I've said this before in other shows, the other shows that say, I like this play, but I had it in pocket, I couldn't give it out to my customers. We don't want that nonsense here. Late plays are allowed in our system. We've programmed it to do it. It's not that hard to do it. I don't know why no one else does it, but we do it for you guys because we know we want you guys to get the best plays, and we want our cappers to as well, right? Because they want to give out the plays to their customers late, especially with injury situations, pitching changes, lineup changes, what have you. You read the line, hey, this doesn't make sense. This player's not worth this much, or maybe they didn't put enough. The line's not high enough. Whatever the case, you're going to get those late steam plays. So go ahead and get signed up for that long-term pass. Use that promo code TonyT. We'll do the math here on the 1 month pass. You save $66 off that 1 month pass when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Access Ramon's page by clicking the link in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, and it'll land right on Ramon's page and get signed up. All right, Ramon. More content from you over on the Twitter account. We've set up for you, Tony6Ramon. They'll find out a little bit more about your service as well on that account. Morning Steam back tomorrow with the show. That's your Monday on Wednesday. So that's they'll be back on with Mindy, and of course a little more content from you over on the Discord.
Yeah, Tony, I'll definitely be back with Mindy tomorrow on the Morning Steam. We'll preview all the games from the playoff sports as well as Major League Baseball. Also, I'll be over in the Discord, maybe give a few winners there as well. Coming at you tonight on the Twitter account, also at Tony's Picks Ramona. I'll try to find another place somewhere. Really, I know what I'm focusing in on. It's probably going to be in the Cubs-Nats game. Probably be my Twitter pick. So if you're interested in maybe the side there, I think that's what's going to end up going up over there. Took a day off, I'm afraid, from my embedded picks. I had some errands I had to kill today, so was running a little bit behind, maybe on my half day off, if you will, here on Tony's Picks. But we'll get that back for you tomorrow. And also, yeah, I've got my MMA podcast coming up. It's done on our network. If I could talk about it a little bit, Tony, though, you can find me on Twitter and join us tonight previewing the weekend card. You mentioned the UFC, Tony. I went 3-2 last week, kept my winning streak going with my UFC picks. And this week, this Saturday night, they'll be back in New Jersey for the first time in 4 years for a championship bout between champion Aljamain Sterling and elite wrestler Henry Cejudo, a bantamweight bout from the Prudential Center in New Jersey. That's this week's UFC 288 card. A big one here in that one, and a nice undercard as well with former championship challenger Gilbert Burns going up against Bilal Muhammad in a co-main event that is also actually scheduled for 5 rounds. So should be a good one this week in the UFC. Be looking for those selections as well after I consult with my experts on my podcast, our podcast tonight, with my top expert over there on Twitter. So please check that out. So Tony, appreciate it very much. Great job, great show, and be back with Mindy tomorrow. We saw her out there, Tony, at her event last week. Uh, you know, regaling with a national championship trophy and watching the games. So she gets some time, and we'll be back tomorrow with our show for another week of morning steam. But like I said, we do have plays. We went through them. So Mindy and I got some plays. You can subscribe to them. Make sure you check it out if you're interested. Believe she put some packages together now, and you can find those on Tony'sPicks.com. Mindy and I's Morning Steam Consensus on Tuesdays. We sell it over at the website. So appreciate that.
Very good indeed, guys. So check it out over there, over on the site. All right, Ramon, as always, great having you show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you to all of our regulars in the chat. Recognize just about everybody from our morning show, but also I want to shout out a couple of new people I recognize. New people. Reno, good to have you as well. Charles Sharp in there as well. Appreciate any new viewers or people that just hadn't commented before. Appreciate you very much, and everybody in the chat. Jamal and Blake and the gang.
That's right. Just a reminder to all the new folks out there, this rundown is conducted Wednesday through Monday here on the Morning Steam Show with Ramon and Mindy. Mindy also contributes there with the rundown of all the pro sports, so make sure you make a note of it, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Wednesdays through Mondays. We do it here for Tuesday for Ramon because they're dark. There's no Morning Steam on Tuesday, but you like this format, check it out. Wednesday through Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to like, subscribe. It'll be Ramon hosting with Mindy as they're both giving picks on the complete card. All right, Ramon, have a great rest of the day. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You got it, Ramon Scott.